Hey, English 11, Mr. Nass here. Let's go ahead and get started with Unit 2, Lesson 1. So you should have completed the lesson introduction, which included just some of the vocabulary and a quick introduction to rhetorical analysis. Today's goal is to understand what rhetorical analysis is. So as I do this short video, you should have a notebook out and something to write with. Pause it if you need to grab that. And then you'll be taking just a few notes as I introduce you to rhetorical analysis. So let's get started. First of all, rhetoric. So rhetorical, the root word is rhetoric. Rhetoric is the art of effective or persuasive speaking or writing. So anytime we have a text that someone wrote, like an article, a script, really any written text or a speech, from, let's say, a video or an event or any type of time someone prepares a speech or writes something, that's considered rhetoric. And so rhetoric is doing that effectively. So someone giving a speech that convinces some people of something in their message. Or persuasive, writing an article that gets people to believe a certain way or changes people's minds or makes them think about something they haven't thought about before. So that's rhetoric. And what's rhetorical analysis? Well, it's asking these questions. What does the author do? How do they do it? And why do they do it? It's as simple as that. You take some piece of writing or some speech, ask what does that author do, how do they do it, and why? And so we're analyzing some of the things behind the text. Now, you need all the information on the last slide written down, so you should go back, maybe pause it if you need more time. But let's take a minute to look at this. It's called a framework here on the left. Framework is just a visual way to understand rhetorical analysis. And we're going to use this and come back to this throughout the unit. And it has three different big sections to it. You can see that the top section here, this little black thing separating it, is called the rhetorical situation. And exigence, audience, and purpose are the three key words in that section. Those were also on your vocabulary list from the other day. The second section is called the appeals. We'll look at the appeals. This is marking the appeals are ethos, logos, and pathos. Those are the three types of appeals we'll talk about. And then on the very bottom here we have what are called surface features, which is organization, structure, and form, and includes things like diction, syntax, imagery, and figurative language. So we're going to talk a lot more about this framework, but you definitely want to pause the video and make sure that you have it sketched out in your notes because we'll be coming back to it quite a bit. Here are a few essential questions for our unit. What techniques are used to convince someone to do something? So how does an author convince someone? What makes an argument effective? How does a speaker's style affect audiences? And how can analyzing rhetoric provide a deeper understanding of a text and its purpose? I've already talked to you about the framework in general, but we're going to use the framework to analyze all kinds of things, including speeches, cartoons, and essays. There'll be three summatives in this unit. So we kind of divide it up so it's not all one summative at the end. We call them mini summatives. And the first one will deal with this rhetorical situation, the top part. You'll do a mini commentary on a text. And then the second one will deal with the appeals section. We'll look at some advertisements to do that. And then the last summative, it will be an in-class essay where you cover the whole framework after we've gone through everything. So that's kind of how the unit will be structured. It all goes around this framework for rhetorical analysis. We already talked about these essential questions. And so now let me show you what you need to do to complete lesson 1. Over in Schoology, we just have a couple of things. First of all, you have a should do assignment, which is a short video from a Hunger Games movie, which is Katniss' speech And let me see if I can find it. Here it is. This is a should do assignment. Watch the video linked here, just 1 minute and 43 seconds, and then answer these questions. And this is just going to get you started with how do I analyze a text? Asking these questions about this video clip will help you get thinking about rhetorical analysis. And then once you've completed that, you can move on to the mastery check. The mastery check is on Schoology here, and it's 3 simple questions that you need to answer and submit. What is rhetoric? Give a specific example. Explain rhetorical analysis in a way a 3rd grader could understand. And why is it important to study rhetorical analysis? And yes, it is important, so you need to tell me a reason why. All right, that's all I have for you. Make sure you have your notes completed, work on the assignments for this lesson, and complete that mastery check, and we'll see you in lesson 2.